Hello, my dear students. Welcome back. So today, we're jumping right into one of the most important and, honestly, one of the easiest high-scoring chapters in your syllabus, planning.
With the board exams just around the corner, I'm sure थोड़ी tension तो हो रही होगी, right? And that's okay. That little bit of stress is completely normal, beta. Everyone feels it.
But listen, you absolutely don't need to worry. Because after this quick explainer, I promise you, this chapter on planning, it's going to become your super strength. You'll be able to tackle any question that comes your way. So, let's get into it.
All right, so first things first, what is this planning all about, yaar? It sounds simple, I know, but we've got to get the definition just perfect for the exam.
So, the textbook definition is actually super simple. Planning is just deciding in advance what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. But here's what I really want you to remember. This beautiful analogy. Just think of planning as a bridge. It's the bridge that connects where we are right now to where we want to go in the future. And look at this. This illustrates that point perfectly. See? You're right here at the start. And your goal, maybe it's scoring 95%, is over there at the finish line. Well, planning is that solid bridge that lets you cross the gap and grab that trophy. Simple, right? Okay, so we get what it is, but why is it so important? Why do examiners just love asking questions about the importance of planning? Because, beta, it is the foundation of everything in management. This slide right here, it perfectly sums up why planning is so crucial. First up, it gives you direction, kind of like a Google map for your business. It also acts like a shield, reducing the risk of future problems. And this is a big one. It stops wasteful activities. No one wants that. It also promotes innovative ideas, helping that little light bulb switch on in your head. Plus, it acts like a signpost, helping you make clear decisions. And finally, it sets the standards for controlling, which is like our final checklist for success. These are pure gold for your exam answers.
All right, now for a very, very common exam question, the planning process. And listen, don't get scared by the number of steps. Just think of it like a recipe for your favorite dish. All you have to do is follow the steps one by one in the right order.
Okay, let's walk through this recipe. Step 1, you set a clear goal. Like our example here, increase sales by 20%. Step 2, develop premises. Now that sounds complicated, but it just means making smart guesses about the future, like, will the government's policy change? Then in step 3, you identify all the possible ways to reach your goal. Should we do a new ad campaign or maybe offer a big discount? Step 4 is where you look at the pros and cons of each path. In step 5, you pick the best one. Then comes step 6, which is super important. You actually implement the plan. All that thinking is useless without action. And finally, step 7, you follow up, just to make sure everything is on track. See? It's a completely logical flow. Every coin has two sides, right? Well, planning is exactly the same. So for those critically analyzed questions, you have to know the good stuff and the not so good stuff. Okay, this slide right here, this is your secret weapon for revision. On the left, you've got all the great things about it, the features, it focuses on goals, it's the very first function of management, it's a continuous thing. But then on the other side, you've got the problems. Sometimes plans can be too rigid, They might not work in a world that's changing so fast. Sometimes it can even reduce creativity if people just blindly follow a plan. And remember, just making a plan doesn't guarantee success. You have to work hard to make it happen. So think of a manager having a toolkit, right? And in that toolkit, there are different types of plans for different situations. We won't go through all of them today, but let's look at 3 of the most common ones that you absolutely need to know for your exam: policies, rules, and budgets. Okay, first up, we have a policy. Think of this as just a general guideline. It doesn't tell you exactly what to do, but it gives you a framework to make decisions in. For instance, a company might have a policy to only hire people with a master's degree. This guides the manager's decision. And next we have a rule. Now a rule, that's totally different from a policy. A rule is super strict, it's specific, and there is zero flexibility. It tells you exactly what you must do or what you must not do. And the perfect example? A no smoking sign. It doesn't say, please try not to smoke here. It says no smoking, period. That's a rule. It's a simple, direct command, and you have to follow it. And finally, let's talk about the budget. Here's a tip. Whenever you see numbers in a plan, rupees, quantities, percentages, anything like that, your brain should immediately shout budget.
A budget is just a plan that's expressed in numbers. And hey, to give you a real-world example, just look at this. Indian Oil Corporation has a plan to invest 2 lakh crore rupees for its environmental goals. 2 lakh crore? I mean, wow, that is a massive budget, right? It sets a really clear numerical target for their plan. All right, so we've gone through the concepts. But theory is one thing, and actually applying it is a whole different ballgame. So let's try to solve a typical case study question from your textbook. You ready? Okay, read this question very, very carefully. The company has a goal, right? And the manager has been asked to prepare a proposal with different options. Now, think back to our 7-step recipe. Which step was about coming up with different options or different paths? So, what do you think? The answer is step 3, identifying alternative courses of action. The manager isn't evaluating them yet, and she hasn't selected one. She's just identifying the different ways to reach the goal. See, you guys already know this stuff. Well done.
So here's the real takeaway. We've just spent all this time understanding what planning is. But the final, most important question? That's for you. Now that you're an expert on planning, what is your plan to score 95 plus in business studies? Really think about it, write it down, and then go make it happen. I have full faith in you. All the very best.